Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about a lot of the important set changes that have happened on the public test server in the past few weeks. There's a lot of things that change. Now, before we start, I do have a second YouTube channel where I upload like the live streams I did on Twitch. And follow me over there too. I have Instagram, Twitter. Everything is in the description. There's also ESO sets, skill book, housing, there's a lot of content you can go check out. Link in the description. And don't forget to subscribe here. Thank you. So this was the week 1 PTS patch note. We will go through all of them, through the sets. Now let's take a look at the new sets first. In Castle Thorn there's Talfik's Treachery. The stats here actually look nice. It's a light armor set, increases spell damage by 372 permanently. So this is actually nice. But you also take more damage from fighters' guild abilities. But most of it from flame and fighters' guild abilities. That's kind of like a vampire, extra fire damage taken, but a little bit more. So is it really worth it? Tough to say. I would probably just stick to Mother's Sorrow. Unleashed Terror, weapon damage, stem. When you deal direct damage with charge, leap, teleport, or pull ability, you cut your enemy, causing them to bleed for 5 seconds. So that's again a very strong proc set. This is probably gonna look good in PvP. A few of the things might have changed, keep that in mind. We will go through them step by step. There's also a few dumb changes, like the Fresh and Strangler stuff. I feel like it should roll a dice every week because it changed so much the past few weeks. Heavy armor, after taking damage, you surround yourself in an 8-meter mist of blood. 2 seconds, the mist is violently siphoned into your body, dealing AK damage, nearby enemies, and healing you for 100%. So it has a little bit of a long cooldown, but in theory it sounds cool. Is it very useful? Probably not. But it might look cool. Lady Thorn, casting ability that costs health, spawns a blood ball for 10 seconds. This effect, so you could I don't know, spell sim or anything that drains health pretty much. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. You or an ally near the blood ball can activate the Sanguine Burst synergy, dealing 5k disease damage to nearby enemies, and apply Major Maim. Yeah, this here, this could be very strong for PvP. I'm not sure if they nerfed it in later patches. But Major Maim, that's a lot of damage reduction. And it's also a little bit proc. You could probably use Harmony traits to boost the damage here and champion points. So this value can go a lot higher. Stone Garden, another new dungeon. Elemental Catalyst. When you deal Flame, Shock, or Frost damage, you apply a stack of Flame, Shock, or Frost weakness to the enemy for 5 seconds. In the newest version of the patch notes, it's 3 seconds. Each stack of an elemental weakness increases their critical damage taken by 6%. On the newest patch, it's 3%. They nerfed this quite a bit already, which was needed. If they release it like this, it would have given us 18%. These things stack. So you'd have gotten 18% extra critical damage. For the whole, one guy has to wear this and the whole group gets 18%. That's basically a free Shadow Mundustone for the whole group. That's just so broken. I don't even know how it made it through. This shouldn't have been here in the first place like this. They failed the balance check completely. Dragon's Hole, after an enemy you have risen the damage dice, you let out a hole, granting 3 allies within 15 meters the heat that calls synergy. Activating the synergy gives you and activated 12 ultimate. Sounds very useless. Arcasis Genuis. It's a heavy set. When you drink a potion, you and 3 group members gain 44 ultimate. That actually sounds interesting. You could probably backbar this, activate the potion, and get the ulti, in a dungeon group. That's pretty cool. I actually like it. The question is, can you, if a guy already has, max, 250 ulti points to use his, ultimate, does he really need another? You would have to coordinate a lot to make this really work. Sounds like a lot of work to go through. Stone Husk. Your heavy attacks tether you to the enemy within 10 meters for 5 seconds. Enemies touching the tether take 1906 physical damage every 1 second, and you gain a stack of Husk Drain up to 15 stacks. The tether is broken if the enemy moves 12 meters away from you. This effect can occur once. You consume... When the tether ends, you consume the stacks and gain 30 weapon damage per stack. Consume for 5 seconds. This just sounds like a lot of work. It's like usually sets that just like either have a very high like uptime or like they proc often are usually way better. And like here it just sounds like so much work to actually get this to the max. I don't know. So these are the new sets, and now the more interesting stuff. Like there's a lot of juicy changes with set changes that some people have not seen. Also some nerfs and so on. Now it gets interesting. There's also a lot of useless changes, but anyway. Here we are. Developer comment. As mentioned in the intro, all item sets have been audited to reduce their implications on performance. Proc Sets will no longer do additional range checks on events that already passed one, such as an event triggering off of a light or heavy attack. Will no longer send messages to the server when they fail or are on cooldown. And are properly labeled as proc sets to ensure they do not trigger other proc sets. Was it... Wait, wasn't it Sloth's call that like could... like... It could proc off the proc, and even when the enemy was dead already, it was like super weird, super wonky. So they changed a lot of the proc sets. Like good luck in PvP, because proc sets seem to have a very bad impact on performance. So they changed a lot of them, like removing the 10% proc chance. Now it's 100%. Stuff like that. It's gonna be crazy. And proc sets and Malakav, it's like a match made in hell. It's gonna be even crazier because Malakav boosts all non-crit damage by like 25%. So yeah, it's gonna be a shit show pretty much. During this audit, we have also brought almost every set in the game under our set bonus efficiency standard. I always love when they use these words and then you see new sets that are like completely broken, like completely overpowered. Which breaks down a set into its total worth of stats provided, plus modifiers such as how difficult or specific the set is to use and engage with, due to the staggering size of this list. We have broken up the changes into more specific categories. Like, the set here, the one I mentioned, where is it? This one. It's just so, like, no way. So I can tell you what happened here. If only, like, they probably balanced this for one player, then it actually makes sense. But they completely forgot that this, like, stacks on group members as well. I'm sure they didn't take that into account. Like, if this only works on one player, it would make sense, but they forgot that like, every dude in the group gets the buff. So it's like 12x as strong as it should be, I guess. But anyway, whatever. They nerfed it a little bit, so it's a little better. Due to the staggering size of the list, we have broken up the changes into more specific categories. They also should write, and we probably broke a lot of the sets, so they might not work at all anymore. Additionally, we have adjusted all item sets that have radius checks for friendly targets to no longer target all allies, but instead target group members only. This is another dangerous thing that we are playing an MMO, and it's already a little bit tricky. Like when you're fighting dragons in Overland, for example, you have a guy next to you as a healer. You want to heal him, and he's dead because the heal only works in your group. So it's like it takes away from that feeling of an MMO, right? It's like everybody should be able to do anything in Overland, but you have a lot of these group specific buffs. It's kind of frustrating for people. It's like, okay, I'm a healer, but well, I can't heal that guy because he's not in my group. So they have to be careful with that, especially if they push even further. into like group members only territory. This will reduce the amount of parsing and messaging dealt by the server and reduce the staggering power many of these sets can enable in non-grouped content. Yeah. But I guess it's fine. I just hope they don't forget it. Like, it just feels like, okay, performance over anything. Nothing else matters. It's just performance. Which is not bad, but it will have long-lasting effects as well on other things. But yeah, that's a lot of these sets. Let's see. Yeah, so like Earthgore could have saved the random guy that was almost about to die. Now he's just gonna die. Dead. Hollow Fang. Sustain. Craziness. Yeah, there's a few others. Anyway. Okay, the changes. Long list. Alessia. Bulwarks. Alessia's. Bulwark. This set now reduces the attacker's weapon damage by 300 rather than by 10%. I actually... Does this work in PvE as well? Like, a lot of people don't know, but in PvE, all monsters, they only have, like, weapon damage. They don't know spell damage, per se. So you could probably stack this on top of the healing mage set. I think it's called... the mending set, which reduces the damage as well. And 300 is a lot. Armor Master increased the armor granted from this set to 5949 up from 433. Okay, sure. It's already a lot, and it's a unique buff. And you can backbar this. Like if you want to get super tanky, backbar this. Easy peasy. Assassin's Guild, this set. Okay, they changed. Okay, they just changed. Okay, over there. Cold Harbor's favorite, this set now heals or damages for 16k or 6 seconds rather than 12k. Sure. I don't know. It's like... I don't think anyone used this set and nobody will still use it. So, okay, whatever. Daily Trickery, this set now activates upon dealing damage rather than when you are in combat with a timer. Yeah. Increase the duration of all major buffs granted from this set to 16 seconds. The cooldown of any major buff applied from this set is still 20. Oh, that's actually nice. It's a weird set, but the RNG is pretty cool. But yeah, it's not reliable, but like, actually, if you want to have some fun, this might be interesting to experiment with. Death's Wind. Reduce the cooldown of this useless set to 15 seconds down from 30. Okay. Gravestalker, reduce the magic and stamina restored from this set to 4200 down from 6000. Okay. Remove the proc chance from this set. Grave Stake will spawn on any monster death you damage, but only one stake can be activated. Okay. I make fun of a lot of these sets because like the game has a problem because everything scales, right? They have like 400 or 500 sets in the game. Not all of them can be useful. But then, like, why waste time on balancing sets that are useless right now and will be useless in the next patch? It's just wasted resources. Like, every time somebody has to think of these changes, make the changes, it's a lot of time wasted and a lot of people involved that could have worked on more important stuff. That's like the whole patch notes pretty much, like so much useless changes. Innate Axiom. The 2-piece of this set is now weapon and spell damage rather than magic. Okay. Magnus Gift. Increase the proc chance of this set to 15% up from 8%. That's actually... So, like, when it procs, your ability costs nothing. So that's actually a lot. Acuity, this is a juicy one. Hello. Remove the proc chance from this set. This set now grants its guaranteed critical strike to any ability that can naturally critical strike, rather than only attacks. So, a lot of people ask, like, what will be meta with Magicka setups? I will probably stick to my base setup with False Gods and Mother Sorrow, but something like Mechanical Acuity might take the spot, like on trash fights. On bosses you want to burn down, this will be very, very powerful. Like, you could probably just get this instead of Mother Sorrow on all fights and it will be fine. Doesn't really matter. Like, they're almost on par. I'm just a huge fan of Mother Sorrow in general. So yeah. And if they mentioned in, like I said this in another video, maybe we can take a look real quick. They had a developer comment here where they said they are going to rework how critical chance works because they're not happy that people have like 80% spell or weapon critical, which is way too high. But that's what happens when you don't balance the game properly and you have all these power creep things. So maybe Mother Sorrow might get wrecked, but the mechanical acuity will give you 100% crit rating. So this might take the lead in a future patch. Who knows? Maybe in like half a year or something. So it's definitely worth looking at. And for burst fights, this is like the golden nugget. Definitely. Juicy thing. Might of the Lost Legion. What is this even? I don't even know what this is. Noble's Conquest. Increase the healing down from this set to 4-5 from... Again, why even bother changing? It's useless. Nocturnal's Favor. This set now heals for 10k or 5 seconds with a 5-second cooldown rather than healing for 4k. Okay? I mean, it's still... I don't know. It's poop. Oblivion Foe. This set now increases the damage of your soul magic attacks by 2466 rather than adding 1k weapon damage. Okay. Sure. Yeah. I actually, like, if a developer watches my video, they must get so, like, depressed. Because, like, I shit talk most of the sets, but it's like, that's how I feel about most of the patch notes. When I read patch notes, I also get depressed. So it's like, you know... They get the piece of the cake and I get my piece of the cake. Cake of depression. Anyway, whatever. Redistributor. This set now procs on overhealing cost rather than when you heal yourself at full health. Okay. Useless. Shacklebreaker. I guess so. I'm not even sure. Like, Shacklebreaker increases stamina. And Magicka. This set grants to 2065 up from 2k. Again, a very small change, pretty much. I mean, it's nice, it's a small buff, but like, why invest time? Chalider's Curse. And to reiterate, some guy probably spends an hour figuring out the values for this set, then he has to send this to another guy that will actually apply the change in a database or something. So it's like 2 hours, 3 hours of work for such a minor change. That's maybe a little bit over-exaggerated, but overall, companies always. They're very inefficient, so it wouldn't surprise me if this alone takes 3 hours. Because there's like 5 people involved. People have to approve things and so on. Yeah, so easily 5 hours. Chalider's Curse. This set now activates off light and heavy attacks rather than only light attacks. Sure. Okay. Song of Lamé. Reduce the damage done from this set to 3000. It's like, bro, why? Why? Reduce the cooldown to 3 seconds down from 30. Okay. That's a useful change. That makes the set a lot more interesting. The heal from this set now heals for the amount of damage done rather than a flat amount. So yeah, this is actually not bad. Tower's Favor. This set now grants 12 ultimate or 3 seconds up from 9. And updated the tooltip to mention the 3 seconds cooldown. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Toruk's Pact. This set's 2 pieces now armor rather than spell damage. Increase the cooldown reduction for enchantments to 33 up from 30. It's like, why bother? This year they nerfed this already in a future patch to like, I think 45. Like 30% was already a lot. 90% was like overpowered as hell. And now it's like 45 in one of these new patches. Still very strong. Like, this is a huge buff. Trial by Fire. This set now grants 8500 armor while under the effect of any elemental status effect. That's a lot. Twilight's Embrace, this set's okay, whatever. Vampire Kiss, this set now heals for 8,800 over its duration, up from 5. Like a nice new player set. New players always lack healing, so anything that heals them and deals damage, it's nice. Warren's Legacy reduce the damage bonus of this set to 3-2, down from okay. Now whenever you block an attack, your next direct damage AoE deals an additional 3,290 damage. Okay. White Strike Retribution increases size of the damage shield to 13k. What there? Willow's Puff increases the recovery bonus to 25, up from 15. So that's a huge buff. There's still a lot of other sets that probably are strong. It's a crafted set though, so it's easy accessible. Overland. Kaviri Dragon Guard. This set now grants an additional 158 health recovery on the 5-piece. Okay, nice freebie. Sure, I take it. Armor of the Trainee. Sure. Armor of the Veiled Inheritance. Increase the weapon damage bonus of this set to 516, up from 400. This set now permanently increases your bash attacks damage by 516. Okay. How do you proc this? That sounds like a lot. When you interrupt an enemy, you gain 400 web. Okay, by interrupting him. So yeah, it depends. Not very reliable in PvP because people might use CC potions and so on. Bahara's Curse increased damage done by this set to 960, up from 860. Increased the proc chance to 25, up from 10. Reduce the snare. Okay, I actually use this on my like kind of vampire solo build. Not because it deals a lot of damage, but like it's fun to use. It has a cool effect. And while you deal damage, it actually heals you for a lot. So for people that are not good at keeping up healing buffs, this is like, okay, carry my butt. Beekeeper. In this set, 3 and 4 no health. Sure, increase the health recovery of this set to 900. Wait, what? That's a huge buff. Jesus. Okay, sure, I guess. Whatever. Bloodthorn's Touch increases the... The magic and stamina channel from this set to 9.5. Okay, that's actually nice. Briarheart. Reduce the healing of this set to 350, down from 378. Okay, this set no longer has a proc chance. Whenever you deal critical damage, your weapon damage will now be increased by 450 for 10 seconds. While the effect is active, any critical strike by you also heal. By you also heals you for 350 with okay. Buff. I use Briarheart on all my solo stamina builds. It's just too good. Like this thing heals you for so much and they just buff the shit out. Like it's easy to proc. And why do I say like the healing doesn't have a cooldown? So when you have like 2 AoEs on the ground that tick every second, it can always proc the heal. Plus you probably have another 2-3 dots. It just heals for so much. It's usually like the second highest heal. Just for slotting it. And you can front bar it too. Right throat Boast. Increase the magic recovery this set grants to 160. Okay. Nice buff. I slapped this on most of my Magicka PvP builds. With like alcasthq. It's or like Shacklebreaker. It's just so good. Call of the Undertaker. This set no longer has a cooldown. The set now also triggers on any... What does this thing do? Okay, sure. Sounds pretty average. Champion of the Hills. This set now grants up to an additional 1206 max health when wearing 5-piece. Crafty alcasthq. Reduce the magic granted by this set to 2550, down from... Another 5 hours wasted. I don't know how much, but yeah. It's like... Do they have to keep interns busy and like juggle with like these weird ass like values? What's the point? Deadwater's Gill. This set now scales with item level and quality. Increase the ultimate granted to 15 per kill, up from 5. Wait, what? This sounds like the Grinder's Dream. Damn, that's sexy. That's like, that's a lot. So the only reason why I didn't like this set is it has a cooldown. It can only proc once every second. Like this was like, okay, I will use this when I want to level up characters or something. Because you basically can spam your ultimate. But then I noticed, oh crap, it has a cooldown of 1 second. But now it's 15 ulti per kill. So like this is basically the perfect set for me when I'm grinding a stamina tune. Training gear on this bad boy, and then you just spam ultimate. Let Dawnbreaker after Dawnbreaker after Dawnbreaker. That's a lot. That can proc every second. That's like crazy. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Defiler, like this is a worthy change. Nice. Defiler, increase the damage done from this set to 6,840, up from 6,000. Okay. Remove the proc chance. Yeah. The Hunger from this set is now stationary, cannot be targeted, and disappears after ending its attack. Fixed numerous issues where the Hunger will constantly attempt to channel its ability and stop. Yeah. So it had a, let's see, Defiler. We can check out these sets. I'm not always sure what they do. When you deal critical damage, you have an 8% chance. So it was only 8%, and now it's 100%. That's like a big ass buff. On top of that, they also buffed the damage. Oh baby, you slap on some Malakoff, like it's one of the mythic items here. We have all the mythic items too. It's this one. Increases your damage done by 25%, but you cannot critical damage. In PvP, you will see so much proc builds, and it will be worse like in no champion points. You just build tanky and you let the procs do the work for you. Sounds like it looks like, okay, they focus so much on performance, they completely forgot that it will affect balance a lot. Draugr's Heritage increases the healing from this set, and it will be even worse in Battlegrounds as well. Like, everybody will just like run sword and board and block, because the proc sets are not affected by how much weapon or spell damage you have. They don't give a shit. They're only affected by like modifiers, like Malakoff, which like bumps all damage by 25%. Or like when you have like extra poison damage and stuff like that. Draugr's Heritage increases the healing from this set to 8,750. Sure. The cooldown to 7. Okay. Sure. Still not really good, like there's better sets, but very big buff. Dreamer's Mantle, this set now restores 1058 magic on proc, rather than healing for 7,000 on proc. Okay. I completely phased out while reading this, whatever. Grace of Gloom, the heal from this set now activates once every second, rather than requiring you to light or heavy attack to activate it. Okay. This set has the coolest effect out of all sets in the game. On my website I have like a list and showcase of how set effects work. It's in the fashion section when you go to alcasthq.com. There's the healing, yeah. It's not really useful, but it looks so good. Green Pact increases the health recovery bonus of this set to 356, up from 250, sure. Griffin Ferocity, this set now lasts 10 seconds, up from 3 seconds. Wait, this what does this do? You gain minor force and minor expedition. Okay, whatever. Height of Mori House. The thing with this is why I'm not like impressed. Oh, it has a lot of okay. It's like minor force, you can just get this from a skill. So why would I waste a 5-piece bonus? I can get way better bonuses from 5 pieces than this. Height of Mori House. This set is funny, like you have to dodge roll and you knock enemies down. It's still kinda useless, but it's fun to use. Height of the Werewolf, increase the ultimate granted to 6. This is one of my favorite sets, even though it's not like super strong. I like to play with like ulti-chain setups on my Stamina Dragon Knight back in the days, and this was like, you could backbar this to get it to proc, no problem. So the small buff, it's nice. There is better sets though at the moment. Livewire, reduce the cooldown of this set to 6 seconds, down from 8. Removed the proc chance from this set. Oh, this gives you minor vulnerability. This is actually not bad for a dungeon set, like if you want to get the minor vulnerability debuff reliably. Mad Tinkerer, though there is better sets. Increase the damage of this set to 10k. Okay, up from 10k. Remove the proc chance from this set. Huge buff. Whenever you deal damage, a verminous fabricant will be summoned that will charge to the nearest enemy doing. Okay. How much was the proc set on the proc chance? By the way, ESO sets and so on, like skillbook and housing, they will always be updated on a new patch. And Wöhler and I are currently working on merging all these sets together, all these websites together into one big website. We will launch the beta in about like a month or 1.5, so you can already explore it, give feedback, and then the full launch should come within next year. Don't worry, ESO sets, ESO skillbook, ESO housing will be up as long as we're in the beta, so you don't miss out. Yeah, so this had a 10% chance. Now it has a 100% chance. That's like a big buff. I just feel like they completely forgot about that. If you play this like in CP, you have champion points that buff this, right? Shock damage. You can put like elemental expert. It bumps the number even higher. Like you can get a max to 15% more. You run Malakoff, another 25%. Like these numbers of these proc sets just go higher and higher and higher. And now they also have a 100% proc chance. It's gonna be fucked up in PvP. Good luck. Remove the proc chance from this set. Okay, we read this. Mark of Pariah. Reduce the maximum armor of this set granted to 10k, down from 11k. Okay. This is actually a nice set. You don't see it often, but if you want to be tanky, especially in lower values, nice. Meridia's Blessed Armor. This set is Cancer, and now causes you to dodge all incoming attacks for 5 seconds after blocking an attack, rather than having 33% chance on blocking an attack. To make the attacker miss all outgoing attacks for 5. That's like, okay, it has, the cooldown is 25 seconds now, okay. Like this is like super Cancer. You can basically decide when to get this off, but now it has a long cooldown, so I'm not sure if it's worth it. But yeah, it's like, oh my god. Mod of Sorrow increases the spell crit to this set granted by 1937 up from 1924. Thank god. So yeah, like, I don't know, a very small buff, like a micro buff. I still don't understand why they use these dumb values. Just give us a spell percentage, please. Nobody understands these values, Zenimax. Still, one of my favorite. I'm a fan of crit. If I have the choice between spell damage and spell crit, I will always favor spell crit, unless the spell damage is like super crazy stronger. So yeah, Mod of Sorrow, it still is. Don't worry. Necropotence. Reduce the magic granted from 3100. Okay, like, whatever. Nightmare's Embrace. Increase the weapon damage of the 5 piece of this set to 171. Okay. Plague Doctor. Change the 4 piece to health rather than heal. Yeah. I feel like healing taken is so undervalued. They need to either change this or rework this. But again, it's not. I'd rather would that, like, I want them to work on the champion points rework. I just feel like they keep pushing this out because they don't know what to do with it. Reduce the max health of the 5 piece to 280. Okay, Prisoner Rex. Okay, sure, whatever. It's like a nice farming set, I guess. Ropes, on the other hand, well, actually the Starlock Bray is way better. I have a video on my main YouTube channel about like a vampire build. You have 100% stealth, 100% resources all the time, so you can sprint. In stealth, well, you can like stealth run at the max speed cap all the time and have unlimited resources. It's a speedy Chi build pretty much on the website as well. So where are we? Okay, this set now restores ends per stack up from 6. Sure. Senge's Bite. Increase the critical hit damage bonus of this set to 15, up from 12. Okay. That's not bad. 7th Legion Brute. Decrease the weapon damage and health recovery granted. Ooh, okay. Oh, 15? Wait, how much is it now? It's 10 seconds at the moment. Now it's 15. That's not bad. It's longer. Nice. Like, you could backbar this to get it to proc and then swap to the front bar and you will keep the proc. Shadow of the Red Mountain. Decrease the damage dealt by this set to 5/9, down from 8, and remove the proc chance. Yeah, so overall, big boy buff, even though it deals less damage. Now whenever you deal damage with a weapon, you spawn a volcano that erupts after 1 second. I had to close my door real quick. Dealing. Yeah. Not sure, I never really used this. Like, good players will just avoid. I don't think it's guaranteed hit, if I recall correctly. But anyway, Shulk Exoskeleton. This set now grants up to an additional 129 spell damage. Sure. Shulk. I heard this. Gain minor heroism. Okay, it's actually not bad. I mean, guess it's decent. Might be useful in some situations. 6 of the Sun, this set 2 peace points now up to spell crit. Okay, that's actually nice. That was always my biggest problem with this set. Well, it's one of the problems. Like, it has a health bonus at the moment here. So, it's like it loses value unless you like to play with a little bit more health. The second problem is, adds 400 spell damage to your flame damage abilities. People think like, okay, that's cool. MacDK, let's go. But the problem is, this, for example, because it says adds 400 spell damage to your flame damage abilities, this will not be affected by modifiers like Major Sorcery, 20% extra spell damage. So the value will actually always stay 400. Whereas like with Burning Spell Weave, whenever you deal damage with a flame damage ability, you have a 50% chance to apply the burning status effect to the enemy and increase your spell damage by 525. This buffs your overall spell damage. That means it's affected by Major Sorcery. So when you have Major Sorcery, it's like 525 times 1.2. Whereas this here won't be affected, like the 6 of the Sun, because it's applied specifically to flame. That's always things you have to like test out. So like, no way as a new player you will never know that. This might look better than it actually is. Soulshine. This set now grants 369 spell damage for 5 seconds after activating a channel or cast time ability, rather than adding 450 spell damage to your channel. Okay, sure. Actually not bad, yeah. Spinner's Garment and Spriggan increase the penetration bonus of these sets to 3, 4, 62. Okay, useless change. Micro buff. Sure, I'd take it, whatever. This set now removes all negative effects rather than up to 5. Wait, what? Okay, 30 seconds cooldown. Yeah, okay, that's a long cooldown. Storm Knight Blade. Reduce the damage down of this set to 2466. Okay, remove the proc chance. Now, whenever you take non-physical damage, you deal 2/4 shock damage to all enemies. In fact, yeah, like turtle build. This set was actually fun to use back in the days. It procced so often. When you take non-physical damage, you have a 10% chance to deal. Yeah, and now it's 100%. That's actually nice. I mean, it's not super good, but this was like a nice set. Stegan. This set now grants 369. I see what you did here. Spell damage for 15 seconds after leaving stealth or invisibility, rather than increasing your damage done with magic ability. The free piece of this set is now okay. Whatever. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I hope you don't hear our robo vacuum slave outside. That's why I closed the door. Sword Singer. This set now increases the weapon damage of your two-handed attacks by 600 up from 450. So if you do a two-handed build, might be nice. The thing is, this set now increases the weight of your two-handed attacks. I'm not sure if this will be buffed. Like, it's the same issue with Silks of the Sun. This sounds like it won't be affected by weapon damage 20% buff or so, but you would have to test. I'm not 100% sure in this one. Surbrain's Grip. Reduce the Magicka restored by this set to 805. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention, like, it sounds good, but again, weapon damage buffs your healing, but now this only applies to two-handed attacks, so it won't affect Vigor and stuff like that. So it's I'd rather use something else. Sivara Scales, one of my favorites. I like to call it the pop build. It's like, whenever I do like quests or something in Overland, I play with like a completely useless build. I slap on Ashen Grip, I slap on Sivara Scales, I slap on Martial Lock on a stem DK, so I have all these fire and poison breath, poison explosion things, you know, candy pop. Let's go. The main issue with Sivara's was, it's like you needed to sacrifice a goat to get it to proc pretty much. And I do like goats, so I didn't like that. It's like 5% chance, like dude. Now it's 100%. That's crazy. Increase the damage done from this set to 1k plus 10k over the duration. And he got a huge damage buff. That is effed up. Remove the proc chance when you deal damage. A burst of Lamia poison. This, I don't know. Every time Sivara Scales goes off, it just sounds so sexy and it looks great. Trust me. Try it. It's not, it is what it is, but I like the set. So yeah. Huge buff. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move on. Thunderbug Carapace. Comes up with these names. Reduce the damage down to 5k. Sure, remove the proc chance. Same thing. Like all these proc set buffs. 50%. Now it's 100. Okay, it is what it is. Trini Max Valor increases damage and healing. Okay, a little bit buff. Sure. Twin Sisters. Reduce the damage done by this set to 13k, down from 14. Remove the proc chance. Now, when you block an attack, all enemies within 5 meters you will bleed. Yeah, a rather weak bleed. Twin Sister. I hate these apostrophes, dude. 20%, now it's 100. On Darkness. Increase the damage per hit to 6k, okay. Remove the proc chance from this set. Now when you deal damage, a murder of crows will be summoned around you. Every 3 seconds, a crow will be sent to peck the closest enemy within 12 meters. I never understood why this was a stamina set. It feels more like a Magicka set. Like, I feel like this should be a vampire themed set, and vampires are Magicka creatures. This should be Magicka damage. I'm like, oh, I really want to use this for like a vampire roleplay build, but it's physical damage, so meh. War Maiden. This set now grants 600 spell damage to your Magicka attacks, up from 400. Yeah, okay. Same thing, I don't think this can be buffed by sorcery and so on, but not bad. Way of Dare. Increase the weapon and spell damage bonus to 390, okay. I don't even know what this does. Way of Fire, reduce the damage to, okay. And 100% proc chance. Let's see how much this has. This had a 20% chance here. Wilder Queen's Arc. This set now scales in item set quality and level. It increases your movement speed by 15 and reduces the enemy's movement speed by 15. Sure. How much more? Oh my god, shoot me in the head for... Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, where? Okay. Which one's armor? This set now restores 51 health, magic and stamina per point of your ultimate cost rather than 28 health. Sure. This set now removes all negative effects rather than up to 5. Oh yeah, what wasn't that? Okay. Archer's Mind. This set now grants 6% critical damage and healing passively and an additional 12% while in sneak or invisibility rather than granting 5% critical damage and an additional 10%. Mazatoon. 10k health, magic and stamina on proc rather than 6k. Okay, that's a lot of resources. What's the cooldown on this one? It's so nice. When you take damage while under 30% health. Okay, that's like 45 seconds. Yeah, that's still useless. Bark Skin, reduce the health. Reduce stamina, fix an issue. I don't even know what it does, nor do I care. Bone Pyre's Tatters. Increase the stamina recovery. So yeah, that's a nice buff. Small, but nice. I take it. This is like often used in like no CP or battlegrounds. It's a nice sustain set. Brands of Imperium. This is one of my favorite sets. I usually slap this on my my Templar tank. Reduce the shield size of this set to 11k, down from 12k. Remove the proc chance from this set. So the proc chance gets removed, which is a huge buff. It had a proc chance of 10% only, so now it's 100%. That's huge. And by the way, we also have German and French translation. The new website will be more translated because like at the moment the front page and so on is not translated. We plan to do everything on the new site. Yeah, huge buff. I like it. I will keep it on my Templar tank. The shield stacking. Burning Spellweave, reduce, and this actually works for the whole group. Like, it pops on your allies as well. So if you have plebs in your group that like to die, this might save them. Burning Spellweave, reduces spell damage from 490. Okay. Or it has no longer a proc chance. Okay, that's cool. I take it. I mean, it procced very fast often anyway. And now that's why they nerfed the spell damage a little bit. That's actually nice. It still has 8 seconds. Yeah, so it will still have max a 75% uptime. Yeah. I don't know. Kalurin's Legacy. Oh my. Slightly increase the travel speed of the... Okay, buff. Jesus. Increase the damage down to... Wait, they buff this? And they remove the critical. Good luck in PvP. Combat Physician. Reduce the shield... Like, this is already super strong and... Just buffed it. Reduce the shield size of this set to 4k from 9. Oh, okay. Dragon's Defilement. This set now has an additional... Okay, I don't even know what this does. Okay. Like, it's such a small buff you gain. Like, why waste a 5-piece? Slightly nerfed Draugr Hulk, Elemental Succession, fix an issue, sure. Elemental Succession is actually a good set because, I mean, they buffed it a while ago. It's another good contender that is a magic damage dealer. You should have it no matter what. When you deal Flame, Shock, or Frost damage, you gain 550 spell damage for that element. That's a lot of spell damage, and you can have 100% uptime pretty much. Essence Thief, increase the health stamina restored by this set to 4-3. Okay, this is like the suicide set, kinda. I tried to use this in a trial because you gotta pick up like a synergy or something, but it goes to random places and you're dead. Like, oh, okay, let me just get this in the enemy AoE. I'm sure I will not die, and I'm dead. Flame Blossom. Increase the damage done by this set to 10k. This set now always applies the Burning Elemental. Oh god, okay. This set no longer has a proc chance. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Now, when you deal damage, you summon a line of flame that moves forward after 1 second, dealing 10k damage to any enemy in its path. It's like they removed the proc chance. This had a 10% proc chance only. Now it's 100% and they buffed the damage? Like, dude. How is this balanced? Like 10k? with the right champion points, allocation, some modifiers and Malakoff, you probably can bump this up to 20-25k if you really try hard. And it has 100% chance to proc, and it has like the most OP 4-piece bonus, a spell penetration buff as well. How is this balanced, bro? Anyway. Okay, it has a long cooldown. Okay, I can see that. It has a long cooldown. Okay. It has a trade-off, but still. Frozen Watcher increase the damage per tick of this set to 1300, up from 1k. Sure. Glorious Defender, this set now causes you to dodge the next attack after bashing an enemy within a 13 cooldown. What? Okay. Gossamer reduce the duration of this set to 1. So Gossamer is a very underestimated set. When you heal yourself or an ally, you grant them a major evasion for 2 seconds, reducing the damage from area attacks by 25. So for example, in Sunspire, the laser beam on the ice boss, this actually helps reduce the damage. So you can, like, everybody, when you have this, he will take 25% damage less. Good groups will use this, bad groups will probably not know, and that's why they will keep dying. You gotta organize. It's all the raid leader's job. Raid leader has to find these juicy sets that work. And then he has to distribute these to the raid groups. Like, you wear this, you wear this. Hagraven's Garden. This set now grants you and the nearby enemy group member major protection rather than granting you only 50%. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. No matter what it does, 30 seconds is just such a long cooldown. I don't like it. Hand of Mephala. This set now applies minor fracture to enemies in the area of the web rather than for a duration after the web explodes. Increases the damage down to 2693 up from 2580. Sure. I don't know, it doesn't sound like particularly interesting. Unless you want to do like a roleplay spiderweb build. Harnus, Compassion. Increase the max magic granted. Okay. Does this do? So much sets. Like, I usually only know the important ones, and then like the useless shit I just like whatever. Add when you resurrect another. Yeah, okay, whatever, useless. Like, resurrecting happens so little, so like why waste a 5-piece? This set now grants the shield to up to 5 targets, up from 1. Increase the shield size to 30. Haven of Ursus. When you take damage while you're under 50% health, summon Ursus Spirit. That's the synergy stuff. Just long cooldown, don't like it. Here, since Veneer, this set now grants you and nearby allies 145 stamina recovery rather than reducing you and nearby allies stamina by 4%. I heard some people say it's a buff, some said it's a nerf. It's probably about the same. Like, the change doesn't matter. Probably people that have like high recovery values, it's a buff because it will stack. People that have super low recovery value might be a small nerf, but like the efficiency is about the same. Hit this half, fix an issue, sure. Holofang first. Reduce the magic granted from this set to 2523 down from 3k. So this is the most overpowered Magicka sustain set. One of the reasons why Magicka is so far ahead. Okay. Like, even okay, all the PV healer builds and even like the group support builds use this set because it's so broken. But whenever you critical heal or critical damage and target spawn a ball of hemoglobin at their location, the effect looks super sexy as well. After 2 seconds, the ball explodes, restoring 3k Magicka and applying minor vitality to you and your allies. And the thing is, that's again, like, when you play this set for yourself, it's like, well, okay, that sounds nice, but it doesn't really sound OP. But now you slap this bad boy on a healer and you're in a trial group. 12 people can benefit from this buff. So one proc 12 times 3,000. That's 36,000 Magicka from one proc. That's fucked up, dude. So you see how these sets, like, isolated as one player, they're not really good, but the moment you apply this to several peoples and it can stack, it's just fucked up how much you actually get. And I mean, the nerf is nice, it's deserved, it's still so strong. Hunt leader, you always have to look, like, if you're playing in a group, dungeon, trial, or in the Cyrodiil, like, to how many group members this applies. And then you can see whether it's OP or not. Hunt leader, fix an issue, icy conjurer. Okay, 21k damage or 10, yeah, sure. I don't know, I think this spawns a proc monster, but it's very slow. Iron Blood, increase the proc chance of this set to 10% up from 8, very generous. I'm actually not sure what this does. I feel like this turned into a learning lesson. Me looking at sets that I can't remember. Major protection. Oh, you have the movement speed reduced and it has a 15 seconds cooldown. Useless. Jailbreaker. Okay, sure. Jolting. This set no longer has a proc chance. Now when you block an attack, your next bash will deal an additional 3,500 damage and will increase your physical and spell resistance. Doesn't sound bad. You probably could backbar this as well. Knight Errants increase the weapon damage bonus of this set to 450 up from 200. Okay, not bad. Nightmare, this set no longer has a proc chance. Now when you deal melee damage, you apply minor maim to all enemies. Sure, Lamia song. Kind of like a battle roar passive from the Dragon Knight. Leeching Plate. Reduce the damage down from this set to 1100. Why even? This set no longer has a proc chance. Now when you take damage, a cloud of leeching poison is summoned under the assailant. Cloud deals 1180 poison damage every 1 second for 5 seconds and heals you for 100%. Okay, wait, what was the proc chance? Like, Leeching Plate is a nice set. You have unreliable group members in a dungeon or something. It was 20%. Like, this heals for a lot. So, like, it's a nice set that will save your ass. You have unreliable group members. Leviathan increased it. Okay, a micro buff, light speaker. Not a fan. Whatever. Medusa. Okay, this here is where it gets interesting. So Medusa at the moment, this is a heavy armor set if I recall correctly. Yes. Gain minor force at all times, increasing your critical damage by 10%. Meh. And it has a health bonus, so not really juicy. But now, this set's 2 to 4 piece bonus are now spell critical, rather than health, magicka, and spell damage. So, the 2, 3, and 4 are all spell crit now. That's crazy. This set now has an additional 5 piece bonus, and they added more spell crit on the 5 piece bonus in addition to the minor force. So this is another contender of my, like, let's go. Like, False God, Motosauro, False God, Acuity, False God, Medusa. All these would work beautifully together. Now keep in mind this is a heavy armor set, so you either have to wear 5 light 2 heavy to get the buff on the front or back bar, or you have to wear 3 jewelry and front bar the set. This is definitely a good set. Like one of the top 3 contenders, definitely. If you don't have it, try to get it. It's like always. On alcasthq there is like magicka, stamina sets, and people always ask, what's best in slot? It's like, it depends on the situation. Like each trial has different applications, and usually you have to ask your raid leader. It's like, okay, in this raid, like Acuity might be better, but in the other raid, Motosauro might perform better, whereas in an arena, Medusa might be better, right? Well, I would say in an arena, mobs die faster, so Acuity will probably perform the best because it gives you the highest burst potential. So in the end, which one do you need? All of them. You never know when the meta changes. You want to be ready to hoard these things. We are MMO players, we like to hoard stuff anyway, so... Mighty Glacier, they said now grants major resolve to the nearest allies. Moon Hunter. Okay, whatever. Noble Duelist, they said now increases your light. Whatever. Increase the healing on kill to useless. Overwhelming Surge increases damage per tick to 114. Okay, this is one of my more like favorite sets. Increases the damage per tick, like for PvP, especially no CP. Remove the proc chance. Hello. Oh, okay, there's a dot. I'll find it. It has a 33% chance to proc. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it's really annoying. So you'll proc even more now. Nice, nice, nice. Parabellum, this set now grants a damage shield that absorbs 7k. Sounds useless, is probably still useless. Permafrost, useless. Pillar of Nirn. This set now deals 4,718 damage initially and 23,600 over 10 seconds. Up from 2,000. Okay, that's a huge ass buff, man. Jesus Christ. It's still, I think this is fixed on the ground. Tried to use this set once and didn't end well. I'm not sure. Plague Slinger, reduce the damage per hit of this set to 5k. Okay, micro nerf. Oh, reduce the cooldown to 8 seconds from 15. Huge buff. Now you can better roleplay as the Red Whisperer. Come to me, my minions. Yeah, Gilliam definitely wrote that. When he was streaming, he always had this as a sub alert, I think. And the Red Whisper is like a boss in Wayrest. And he says, come to me, my minions. Set does the same thing. Anyway. Prayer Shawl. Used, I don't. Replication set 5-piece bonus now grants 171 spell damage, up from 100. Small buff. This is weird. NA people in PvP love this set. EU players I have seen this used on NA so much, but nobody uses it in EU. At least while I was playing PvP a lot. Gives you major sorcery, so you don't have to worry about this. So you can use all the potions and so on. It's a decent set. I, for one, am more the fan. Okay, I will just get a skill to do this, but then you could also have maybe a better skill. So yeah, you gotta decide for yourself whether it's good or not. It's mostly used in PvP. It's a small buff, but nice. Reynolds Resolve. Don't even know what this does. Whatever. Ropes of Destruction. Sounds pretty useless. It's like the name implies that it's like destroying something, but it doesn't really sound like it. Sanctuary, this set now grants 10% healing taken to you and nearby allies, down from 12. Okay, sure. This is also a set that, like, when you use it on yourself, it's not really that strong, but this goes on like 6 or 12 people. That's a lot of extra healing. But these days we overheal so much anyway, so it's like wasted. I'd rather just use a sustain set. Savage Werewolf increases the damage done per tick. Okay. Still useless. Scavenging Device increases the damage done of this set. Okay. This is... What is this? What is this? When you deal critical poison damage to an enemy, summon the Scavenging Maw, which attacks you, your enemy after 2 seconds. Okay. That's actually a huge buff. What the fuck? Sheer Venom. This set can now proc on multiple targets from a single hit of an execute. Wait, what? Interesting. Okay. This set now deals. Okay. Interesting, I guess. Spell Power Cure. This set now grants major courage when you overheal a target rather than having a 50% chance to grant it. So yeah, a lot of people were like spell power cure versus Olorim. Olorim got nerfed hard, but they buffed it again. So it's like in unorganized groups, spell power cure will be better. In organized groups, Olorim will be better. Spell anchor. So basically, always run Olorim. Is set now. Sounds useless, I don't know. It's like Spider Cultist, also useless. Stormmaster, this set now increases your light and heavy attacks damage by... It's like, this set is weird, if I recall correctly. Like, it's a stamina set, but it deals shock damage. It's called Stormmaster, so of course it deals shock damage, but then it should be a Magicka set, right? I feel like they missed the train on this one. It's a cool set. It has a really nice, it has a really nice visual effect. That's why it's cool. Sound of Flame, 13.6k damage over 6 seconds and minor fracture. Sure, decent. Sword Dancer, meh. Worm's Raiment, it got the same treatment as Hircine's, 145 Magicka recovery instead of 4% again. Ultimately, it's about the same value. People with high recovery will probably benefit more from this, because it stacks, right? Whereas people with low recovery benefited more from this. But ultimately, it won't make a huge difference. Tooth and Treasure Hunt, increase the weapon or spell damage these sets grant to 171. To explain these real quick, these sets are useless. Often people don't understand, like, it's like, oh, this set is overpowered. Like, look, I get 10% spell critical from Major Prophecy. So, to explain this again, Major Prophecy is a buff you can get from various sources, and one of it is a spell power potion. So you can just activate the potion every 45 seconds and get 100% uptime on this. Why would you waste a 5-piece bonus? Or you could simply use a skill like Inner Light, which also gives you Major Prophecy. Torgwyn Warband increases the weapon critical granted from this set to 134. Reduce the duration of the stack, so they make it a little bit harder to keep it up. Added the 500 millisecond. Okay. I like Torgwyn. It's not the best set, but it's like very easy to use if you hate to keep up Trap. Under the Bastion increases the damage shield size of this set to, okay, whatever. Widowmaker. This set now deals 20k damage over 5 seconds when it procs rather than... Oh, wait, what? When your alchemical poison fires, you drop a poisonous spore in front of you that bursts after 1 second. So, poisons only activate every 10 seconds. So it has a 10 seconds cooldown, basically. It's a lot of damage though, over 5 seconds. Like, you can pump this up to 30, 35k easily. It's poison damage, right? Yeah, it's poison damage, so you have champion points and all that other shit that stacks with Malakath and so on. You could bump this up to 35k, no problem. Winterborn. So that's like a lot of damage. Increases the damage of this set to 7400. Remove the proc chance. Nice. When you deal frost, you summon an ice pillar that deals frost damage. Yes. I liked it. It was never super good, but I liked it, and it has an annoying snare on it as well. Increase the cooldown from 6 seconds. Up from the hidden 4 seconds cooldown. Okay. File. So here is where a lot of other sexy buffs are. The following sets now affect you and 5 other group members, so 6 people in total rather than you and 3 others. And the duration of the set bonus is now determined by the amount of ultimate spent. 1 second every 14 ultimates. So that's a huge buff. Master Architect War Machine. Like, this will probably be used in organized raid groups. This is just so OP now. Same with War Machine, right, for stamina. And you use an ultimate ability. You and the closest 2 allies at the moment within 28 meters of you gain Major Slayer. And with the new patch, it will be 6 people, so half the group, for 10 seconds, 15% extra damage. And if you slap this on like either a healer that uses a barrier or aggressive warhorn, or a necromancer which uses like the Colossus, which is very expensive as well. That's like 250 ultimate. So that's like how much? 250 divided by 14. That's like a buttload of time. So you essentially, you could probably, I'm not ultimate points spent, you could probably even stack it higher. So you could get like 30, maybe 40 seconds if you really want, of Major Slayer. Like that's just crazy. For 6 people. That's what I call Omega buff. Like this will be used, I'm 100% sure. It's just crazy. Same with the other stuff, it could be like the defensive things, could be useful like maybe in arenas or something, but yeah, these things, dude, holy moly. Relican got wrecked a little bit, reduced the maximum number of stacks from this set and the perfect version to 15. Still good, I guess. But yeah. Berserking Warrior, this now grants 305 weapon critical per stack, down from 400. Increase the number of stacks to 10 from 5. I was surprised that they buffed this. Like it's basically like you pretty much can throw Alcast out the window. Don't destroy it, just bank it somewhere. Because like you will probably use War Machine in a trial now. From a support or like on one character. And Berserking Warrior instead of Alcast. Because you will have the Major Slayer buff anyway, so you can replace it with this. 3000 weapon critical. That's like a lot. That's like fucked up shit. But keep in mind, they mentioned here, they will kinda rework critical chance. So it might be overpowered for like 2-3 patches, but then they will nerf it again. Decide for yourself. I will slap it on the stem builds because it's probably gonna be best in slot. Defending Warrior, increase the damage done by this set to 4. Okay, useless. Eternal Warrior, fix an issue. False God. So a lot of people panicked. It's like, oh my god, False God is useless. Use your brain, please. Remove the extra 5-piece bonus of spell damage on the normal version of this set and the extra 5-piece bonus of magic on the perfected version. So it sounds like got 2 nerfs, but that's not true. When we look at this, False God. False God always had 1 more bonus than any other set. Like, the imperfect version had a spell damage bonus here on the 5-piece, which it didn't really deserve. And the perfect version had the 5 spell damage bonus and the extra magicka. So what they said is, let's see, remove the extra 5-piece bonus spell damage on the normal version. They removed this, which was like a freebie anyway. But now it has like the same bonus as any other set. Okay. And the extra 5-piece bonus of magic on the perfected version. So here, wait, where are we here? They removed the magicka, but the spell damage will stay on the perfected. And this set will be even more important because your sustain next patch will shit the bed. So False God will be even more important. Healing Mage, this set now reduces nearby enemies' weapon and spell damage by 286 for 5 seconds rather than nearby enemies' weapon damage by 430. Yeah, okay. Still very strong. Immortal Warrior fix. Reduce the damage. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Lunar Bastion. This set now creates an area for 8 seconds down from 10 seconds. I'm a fan of this set. It looks super cool, but it's pretty useless. Increase the cooldown to 20. Dude. This set looks so cool, but it's 20 seconds cooldown. Like, dude, no. Mantle of Cyrodiil. This set and the perfect version now grant 52 spell damage per stack, up from 30. But only 10 stacks. So instead of 600, you will only get 520. You can get the stacks faster now, so this is kind of a buff in my opinion. Cyrodiil's biggest drawback was that you couldn't like in mobile fights, you couldn't stack the bonuses fast enough, right? So it was kind of useless. So now it actually got a little bit better. Like in stationary fights, where you can reliably keep up the stacks, Cyrodiil is very nice, and you don't have sustain issues. If you have sustain issues or mobile fights, trash fights, false god all the way. Moon Dancer, 474 instead of 4. Still kind of meh. This used to be like the best in slot sets, like when Morph Orcas launched like 4 years ago. There's just way better sets now. Poisonous Serpent, increase the damage of this set to, okay, whatever. Alcast. This set now deals 3k damage initially and 11k over 10 seconds rather than 1, 7 and 12. The armor shred from this set now is based on the amount of damage done from the initial hit rather than a flat 3000. Sure. Roaring Opportunity. This set now the version only applies to, yeah, this was used like in very optimized groups, but now like it only applies 6 members. Like, yeah, rip. Tooth of Locasis. Reduce the duration of this set and the perfected version to 10 seconds, down from 15. Technically, it's still powerful, right? Whether you have 10 or 15 seconds. If you play in a good group, the synergies will come. But War Machine is just so much overpowered now, like so much better. Like, just have one guy run War Machine, maybe a support or a DD, and then 6 people will just run Berserking Warrior. So not every individual has to run Locasis. Like, you basically get this set for free on top of another set that you can wear. Twice Fanged. Ooh, that's quite a huge... Increase the maximum number of stacks. Okay, that's a buff overall. Increase the cooldown. Increase... Yeah, okay, cool. Highlight Remedy. I don't like it. Yondir. Each stack of Giants Endurance now grants 74 weapon damage rather than a recovery. So how much is... this is one of the Keen's AHG sets. They really blew the apostrophes. Okay. I don't know, we will see. Vestments of Olorim, so they kind of botched this one, but buffed it a little bit later on again. So far, it's like in optimized groups, Olorim is still better, but when you have like unreliable group members and so on, Spell Power Cure might be better. Now PvP sets, Affliction, sets that you get from PvP. Affliction is no longer a proc chance. How much is here left? Oh, the Fresh and Stranglers at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't sound good. Unless in order, this now grants 2% of your total physical and spell resistance as health recovery up from... Oh, really? Damn. I used this on my solo werewolf build for Maelstrom. Like, it carries your ass so hard. That's a huge buff. Nice. I'm Alexia Mercy. It's still very niche though, so it's whatever. Bastion of the reduce the damage reduction to 3, down from 5. Reduce the damage reduction bonus. Okay, nerf. Battalion defense. Oh, this is one of my favorite tanking sets. Like in arenas or dungeons, it heals for so much, and all you have to do, block. After successfully blocking, and you do that a lot as a tank, at least I hope so, heal yourself or a group member within 15 meters of you for 2k. And 2k is now buffed to 2466. And I made a video about this a while ago. Like, I tested how high I can get it. So the base heal was 2484 just before equipping. And I could bump it up to 8k heal ticks. So now we probably could bump it up to like 10k. You can watch the video if you want. It's on ESO sets. Just search for Battalion Defender. There's a lot of like major buffs that affect the healing. So you see proc sets, they go parabolic so fast. 2k base value turns into an 8k heal. Super fast. That's a 4x. Black Rose, increase the bonus to the Constitution passive when you're wearing this set to 60. Oh, huge pop. Okay. Probably still not that good, but yeah. Crest of Cyrodiil, reduce the healing of this set to 7-8. Okay. Daily Strikes, fix an issue. Sure. Desert Rose, increase the proc chance to 25. Hawkeye, this set now grants 6% cost reduction and damage now. Nice small buff. Not bad. Keen's Edges, Keen's Kiss. This set now restores 1300 health and stamina with a 5-second cooldown rather than having a 50% chance to proc. Okay, sure. Meretricious Sir, this set now grants 3-5-4-0 armor to group members for 20 seconds rather than... Okay. So this was often used as like a pre-buff set. You could use this on the group before you engage and then swap it out for something else. And you would get like a small resistance buff for 2 minutes. Now it's only 20 seconds, so it's not really worth it anymore. Resource duration. Phoenix, rest in peace. Powerful Assault. This set now grants 307 weapon and spell damage to group members within 10 meters radius for 10 seconds, rather than granting 1/6 more weapon and spell damage to allies. Nice. That's also always a set as a tank that you should have in your back pocket. Ravager, this set now grants 1/4-6 weapon damage per stack, up from 1/2-5. Sentry. Okay, Anguish. This set no longer has a proc chance. Now your melee light attacks place a ring on the ground that explodes after 1.3 seconds, applying 5k heal absorption to all enemies hit. Heal absorption is fucking OP in PvP, but it's easy to avoid. You have time to avoid it. Spell Strategist. Okay, small nerf. Steadfast Hero, reduce the cooldown. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this set... It's when you cleanse a negative effect from yourself or an ally, gain major protection for 5 seconds, reducing your damage taken by 30. So you could get like 50% uptime on this, basically. Not a 50. How much? Wait, when you cleanse a negative. Oh, okay, 5 seconds. Yeah. Did it always have it? I thought it had a 10. Oh no, they nerfed this last patch. That's why it's 20. Yeah, okay. I was like, it had a 50% uptime recently. But yeah, they nerfed this last patch already, and now they buffed it a little bit again. Nerf buff. Let's go. Okay, shit. The Archmage, increase the magic recreation granted by this set to 506. That's a lot. Juggernaut, increase the healing of this set to 20k, up from 18k. I think this has a long cooldown, so it's not really worth it. Morak Tong. Oh, wow. This set now causes targets to take bonus disease and poison damage rather than only poison damage. That's actually cool. Nice. Bruise of Harboring, this set now deals its damage based on 7% of your max health, up from 6. Not bad. Vanguard's Challenge. This set now decreases the damage done by your target versus your allies by 35%, down from 50. It also increases the damage done by your target. Okay. Venom. Yeah, it's not really a strong dot, so... Reaches depth. Oh yeah. This set now grants an additional 1487 spell penetration on the 5-piece. Like, Jesus. Somebody had a good day at the office. Increase the damage done on the kill, 22k. Oh, this shit is so broken, holy moly. War of Cyrodiil. You pretty much can one-shot here with this shit. Like, you slap on Malakath. It's another 25% and other modifiers. You could probably bump this up to like 40k now. So dumb. War of Cyrodiil. Fixed. Warrior's Fury reduced the weapon damage per stack to 24. The Fury was very powerful. I was more the Alchemist guy. Small nerf. Riposte. Monster masks. Increase their armor rating granted 3700. Increase the ultimate on proc. That's literally how I imagine to have Bloodspawn. Like they nerfed both and now they buff it again. It's like, dude. Hindsight. Hold you so. Rofdar. Okay, that's nice. Elambris labeled as damage over time. Rebel, okay. Croc, this set now is now melee. This was damage over, okay. Malakina fixes, Pirates more fix on, yeah, okay. Concentrated force. This is the asylum stuff. This set now requires 2 force shock costs to activate, down from 3. So they actually nerfed it last patch and now they buffed it back to 2. Mythic items. So the funny thing is, mythic items are all so broken, especially in PvP, but they only looked at Fresh and Stranglers, and this is just the first iteration. Reduce the spell damage. I mean, Zenimax was like, no way in hell are people going to use Fresh and Stranglers in Trials. It would be suicide. And everybody uses Fresh and Stranglers in Trials. It took not long. It's so easy. Just get a little bit more health and you will not die in good groups. It was like so overpowered. So Zenimax is like, oh shit, what do we do? What do we do? We implemented so much overpowered items, so let's nerf. Reduce the spell damage granted per stack to 92. Reduce the penalties per stack to 1. The stack from this item set now lasts 30 seconds and refresh every time you gain a stack. And it's useless. So you need the killing blow to get the stack. So sometimes you go without a minute or 2 without gaining a stack. That means it will always reset. You're not gonna get anywhere. It's useless. Now don't worry, there is more. Patch notes version 6.1.1. Let's go right down the rabbit hole. Itemization. Crafted sets. Fix, New Moon Acolyte reduced the weapon and spell damage granted from this set's 5-piece bonus to 401, down from 481. I will probably swap out New Moon on most of my builds. It's just like, it's still good, but 401 and you get the 5% cost increase. And please guys, so many people like Alcast have sustain issues. Please help me. I'm like, what sets do you wear? New Moon, and I'm like, okay, so you're bitching about sustain issues and you're wearing New Moon? Like, really? Because 5% doesn't sound like a lot, but it can really add up. Fast. So if you have sustain issues, New Moon was already not good and now it's even less lucrative. So yeah, I'm probably gonna swap it out with something else. I'm not sure what yet. Torx Pact. Reduce the bonus to, okay, here is a change to 45%. Still quite a huge buff. Dungeon and Arena say elemental precision. So here they remove the stacks to 5%. Spell power cure. Reduce the duration of major courage granted from this set to 5 seconds, down from 10 seconds. Yeah. Unleash terror adjusted. Whatever. Mythic. I'm not, it's like, dice roll. This is how Fresh and Stranglers balance changes are decided on. They just roll the dice. Then they pick whatever shows up. Fresh and Stranglers increase the duration of a stack to 10 minutes to make them essentially permanent while fixing. Okay, what the... This set is currently undergoing some additional changes which are not yet complete. We plan to increase the maximum stacks count from 20 to 50, allowing the set to stack up to a maximum of 200 weapon and spell damage. But with a 50% reduction in healing and shield efficacy, and 50% increases damage taken. This should make the maximum power of this set unattainable to reach by multiple players in Trials, yeah. 50 stacks is way too much, you're not gonna get anywhere with that. Developer comment, we have no clue what to do with this set, so we're just gonna keep doing more random changes. Let's go. PvP source, malicious servers. I mean, it's their own fault. Everybody on the Greymore PTS, like Zenimax, that set is a little bit OP. Are you not worried? Like, no, don't worry. We gotcha. They release it, everybody uses it, it's fucking OP, and now they don't know how to fix it. Marriage to Service, increase the armor from this set to 3-5. Okay, small buff, sure. Olorim, they changed it again. So yeah, Olorim is still worth it. They also changed, so with these adjustments, the set will now better reinforce the need to coordinate with your allies and quickly capitalize on the effect, but better rewards. So they have 20 seconds instead of 10. I'm not sure if it was this here. A lot of the sets have the issues, like if you have 12 people on the same position and Olorim only affects 6 people, it will always rebuff the same 6 people, essentially giving the other 6 people that didn't have the buff. They will never get the buff. But I think they changed this, especially on the Olorim, so it actually rotates now. But first, increase the bonus. Yeah, okay. Then, next patch, let's see, version 6.1.2. More dice rolling? Question mark? I'm not sure. Here, Deadwaters, they fixed something. Remove the hidden... Are they saying there's no cooldown at all on it? That would be that would be broken. I still think there is one though. That would be crazy. 15 ultimates per kill without the cooldown. Like when you grind, you stack 20 monsters. 20 times 15. Dude, I'm gonna spam Dawnbreaker like crazy. Red Mountain. What? Increase the damage is set to... The fuck? Okay. But the longer cooldown. Okay, Kalurian. This set once again requires a critical strike. Sure, okay. Elemental Succession, small nerf. Blessing of the Potatoes, reduce the damage reduction. Reduce the damage reduction of this set to 3%. Okay. Relican, reduce the maximum stack count of this set to 10% down from 15. Reduce the cooldown, increase the damage per tick to 300, okay. Probably still worth using. Vestment of Olorim, yeah. Mythic. Another Fresh and Stranglers change. It's almost like they have no clue what they're doing. Reduce the weapon and spell damage stack to 17. This set no longer causes you to take 1% more damage per sec or decreases your healing taken, okay. This set now causes you to lose 120 maximum health for every stack you have. The maximum stack count stays at 50. You can get like 4k health with this. Developer comment. We still have no clue what the fancy pantsy we are doing, so we keep rolling a dice and see what pops up. Okay, next patch notes. Version 6.1.3. More set changes? Let's see. Infiltration. Fixed an issue. Increases the weapon and spell damage per stack to 23, up from 17, and it's still useless. Okay, and the last patch notes. They changed the elemental catalyst a little bit. Now less overpowered. Still useful though. Yeah. These are all the set changes. As a conclusion, PvP proc sets are going to be so broken, especially in combination with Malakath. Like, proc sets got crazy amount of buffs, like holy, like good luck, especially no CPM Battlegrounds. You will just see proc builds left and right. It's gonna be so broken. Because most of them have their like proc chance reduced and they got a buff in the same time in terms of damage. It's like, just like, why? PvE wise, when we look at things like trial sets like Master Architect and War Machine, like I explained before, they now hit 6 people. And you can give 6 people Major Slayer, that's 15% more damage for like 30 seconds. That's fucked up. So War Machine, Master Architect, like Master Architect in Magicka groups, War Machine in Stamina groups, I'm sure it will be used. It's just so strong. That's why you don't really need alcasthq anymore, most likely, because, where is it? Because you will have War Machine providing that buff. So you can actually use Berserking Warrior, which got a huge buff in terms of critical. It's a lot better now, so you can use this instead of alcasthq. Then, so most likely Relican is probably still worth it in combination with Berserking Warrior, right? Then as a Magicka, it's like a huge bonus, so Magicka got even another huge buff because of the Master Architect. Magicka in general didn't really have a huge or a high uptime on Major Slayer, but Master Architect makes this possible now. 15% extra damage, let's go. In addition, Mother Sorrow, like, let's start with False God first. A lot of people are like, oh, False God is useless now. No. It's still pretty much the best set and will be even more important next patch because Sustain gets a huge nerf. So False God Sustain will be even more important. And people misread this a lot. False God. So False God set had one extra bonus than any other set. So now in the imperfect version, they removed the spell damage. So it still has a 2, 3, and a 4, and the 5 piece. It just had one extra bonus for whatever reason. And the perfect version will get the maximum Magicka removed, but it will keep the spell damage. So it's still super strong. So I slapped that on all my builds as a base, and then you can pretty much choose between Mother's Sorrow, still a very good set, well, one of the best. I love crit. Then we do have Medusa, which made a huge buff. So this set's 2, 3, and 4 piece bonus are now spell critical. When we look at Medusa, oh my god, I can't write. Medusa. Spell crit, spell crit, spell crit next patch, and then gain minor force at all times, increasing your critical damage by 10%. So you get that included in addition to 900 extra spell critical rating. This is actually wrong. It's not 900 spell critical Zenimax, it's 900 spell critical rating. So yeah, huge buff, can be very good. Now you can either front bar this, it's a heavy armor set, please keep that in mind. So you have to use jewelry and front bar this with the weapon, or you have to run 5 light, 2 heavy if you want to full bar this. And the last pick, another contender, is Acuity. They removed the proc chance, so you can control it way better. So like, use False God as a base setup on the Magicka builds. Cyrodiil is also a good pick. And then you either run Mother Sorrow, Acuity, or Medusa. For burst fights, like in arenas where bosses don't have that much health and so on, Acuity will probably be the winner, right? Anything bursty, Acuity just pumps your crit so high, it will be the first choice. Whereas Mother Sorrow will be more like, okay, this is an all-arounder, I will just use this. And Medusa in certain situations might also be good. So yeah, these are the things. Yeah, it was a long video, apologies, but there was so many set changes. Jesus Christ. We will see. They might, and one more thing, in the latest patch notes, they were implying on like they want to change how critical works, because it's too easy to stack critical ratings at the moment. They might nerf all these crit sets in like 2-3 patches, okay? So have fun farming all these juicy sets and then prepare for the huge nerf. It might take a year. They don't say when, but that's just the implication they made here. Okay, latest patch notes. I'll put this one, the main one, into the description so you can check it out if you want. Please don't forget to subscribe. I do have the YouTube channel numero uno here, and I do have a second YouTube channel as well where I usually upload like past live streams and some meme stuff. There's ESO sets that you can check out, ESO skill book, ESO housing. Wöhler and I are currently combining all these together. to one mega website to make like it easier to use and so on. Then I do have a Twitch. Make sure to follow me there. I do have Instagram that you just post some stuff. Twitter. We have Facebook. We have a huge community Discord that you can join if you want. There's a lot of content you can go through. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.